Hello, welcome back to my channel and my class. So, our topic for today will be from lesson 2 of the fourth quarter academic book from pages 265 up to 277. But we're not going to discuss the play in details because this is very long. So, I just prepared a summary of the play. Okay? So, hilarity of horse in Russian theater. So, just a brief introduction before we actually start our discussion of the play. Comedy in the ancient Greek tradition means a story with a happy ending. The opposite of a tragedy, farce from the French word means stuffing at the time when farces were inserted during interludes of serious play. So, pag sinabing farce, di ba ito yung exaggerated na play, which is combination of tragedy and comedy. So it is a type of comedy involving characters that are stuck in a ridiculous predicament that are often exaggerated. Ano pala siya? Siya pala ay mas nakakatawa at ginagamit yung mga pagkakamali ng mga tao. At yun ay nakikita sa nakakatawang paraan. Iba pa nga pala yung combination ng tragedy at comedy. So yun yung farce. Ito ay umiikot sa comedy. Lalo na dahil sa exaggerated action, so yun yung nakakadagdag para mas magkaroon pa ng buhay yung play. It is humorous but in a way that is considered as rough slapstick with a crude physical action. So yung mga normal, yung mga para mga everyday happenings, mga normal na ginagawa ng tao, makikita natin sa farces, saka yun. But in an exaggerated way. Or unexaggerated way, yun. You will often see characters clowning around like how we see on television as the likes of Mr. Bean sleeping on a banana peels or walking into glass doors. So yan, para daw, meron daw mga performers sa stage na parang kumag-act sila parang si Mr. Bean. Di ba, dito exaggerated daw yung mga play sa Russian theater. Kung isipin natin yung ginagawa ni Mr. Bean kung paano siya madulas sa balat ng saging, saka kung paano mabunggo yung mukha niya sa glass doors na hindi niya napapansin na may door pala. Kasi di ba transparent yung glass door, of course. So, before we officially start the discussion of the play, let us first talk about the author. So, uh, let's talk about first, I mean the picture before the author. So this picture is from the play of the Boor. So ano nga bang ibig sabihin ng the Boor? So ibig sabihin ng the Boor ay ang mahirap. Ay, sorry, hindi pala mahirap. Poor pala yon. The Boor, it means, ito yung klase ng tao na unpleasant yung pag-uugali. Mahirap pakisamahan na tao. Okay? So, yan. Ito na ngayon about the author. Nangyari dito. Ayan. Mamaya, makompleto yung pangalan niya pag lumabas ng picture kasi may magic dito eh. Si Anton Chekhov. So, yun. Wala pa rin. Putol pa rin yung gitna niya. So, yun. Dahil nga may magic ako ngayon, biglang mabubuo to. Tsanjaran. Yan. Okay, si Anton Chekhov, or Chekhov, na pinanganak noong 1860 at namatay noong 1904. He was born in Taganrog, Russia. He grew up supporting his family, selling his short stories and sketches to humor magazines with... Ayusin ko lang, sorry. Meron pa rin naging invisible dito. Hindi ko agad napansin. Alright. Ano ko na rin itong black para mas kita. Okay. So, take two. Yan. Okay. So, bata pa lang siya ay siya'y sumusulat na ng mga stories. At, so, panahon nila, pwede pa lang makapagbenta ng mga storya. Mga maikling kwento. So, ibig sabihin, kung sa panahon natin ngayon, nangyayari pa to, marami ng bata ang kumikita. Kasi maraming kwento, di ba, yung mga bata, o mga kabataan ng mga sari-saring kwento, mga gawa-gawa lamang na kwento. Okay. So, wait lang, meron pa palang kulang dito. Guys ko na to kanina eh. Okay na, okay na. Okay na talaga to. Yan. Okay. So, yung kanya mga short stories binebenta niya sa humor magazines, syempre. Kaya nga humor magazines, di ba? Ito yung dapat ang content ay about sa mga nakakatawang mga storya or pangyayari. At ginagawa niyo to habang nag-aaral sa University of Moscow, Russia. Kumikulang na naman. Of Moscow, Russia. Okay. Mukhang okay na naman to. Ito na yun. Man. So, ibig sabihin, ganun siya ka-dedicated sa kanyang ginagawa na kahit nag-aaral pa lamang siya, ay para makatulong sa kanyang pamilya at sa kanya rin pag-aaral siya ay nagbebenta ng kanyang mga stories. Bata pa lang siya ay nagiging independent na siya. Okay. So yan, balik ko lang doon sa picture kanina. Yan. So ito nga pala si Mr. Smirnov. At ito naman si Miss Helena Ivanov. Okay? So, dito tinuturuan niya na humawak ng pistol or gumamit ng pistol si Miss Helena Ivanov or Ivanovna Popov. Commonly known as Mrs. Popov, okay? So, malalaman niyo kung bakit tinuturuan ni Mr. Smirnov si Miss Popov na humawak ng pistol. Bukod sa hindi siya, bukod si Mrs. Popov ay hindi marunong. So, malalaman natin yung causes kung bakit umabot sa pangyaring ito. Ang storyang ito. So, this is one of the most popular story in literature. At napakaganda nitong story na to. So, let's continue. Let's talk about the characters. Helena Ivanova. So, yun, obviously, dyan sa book nyo, sa page 265, may typographical error, but the here, already corrected the correct spelling. Sorry, parang redundant yung I already corrected the correct spelling. I already correct the spelling. Inalis ko na yung letter N, so it should be Ivanova. She is a widow who is grieving for her husband. She is a pretty woman. She is a faithful woman until the death of her husband. So, ang buong pangalan niya, Helena Ivanova Popov. And again, she is commonly known as Mrs. Popov. She is moody and easily gets angry. She has a strong personality. No wonder why she challenged Smirnov in a duel. Next, Grigory. Parang guri-guri nga lang. Stepanovich Smirnov. Commonly known as Mr. Smirnov. He is retired lieutenant in artillery and is country gentleman. He is an emotional, expressive man that he easily gets angry to. He is a strong, frank, and faithful man, but Mrs. Popov considers him a boor. So, yun, hindi maganda yung pagtingin ni Mrs. Popov kay Smirnov. Kasi para sa kanya, mahirap siyang pakisamahan. So, yan. Siya ay mabilis ding magalit. Kasi di ba siya emotional. Pero kapag nagmahal naman siya, so, yun, nakikita yung pagiging expressive sa kanya. So, yun, his good qualities are being strong, frank kung ano yung sinasabi niya yung totoong tao. At tapat na tao din naman siya. Okay. Third one, Luca. I mean, I think this should be pronounced as Luca. Para kasing ano hindi masyadong maganda pakinggan pag ang pronunciation ay Filipino accent. Pero parang dapat ano to Luco. Kasi lalaki to yung si Luca. Sige sige tuloy na lang tayo. Yan natin. At pakikialaman ko pa yung author dito. So si Luca, he is an obedient servant of Mrs. Popov. Ay, sorry. Dapat ano lang yun. He is sorry again. Meron naman akong errors. Ganyan talaga sa recording, di maiwasan ng mga errors. But going back, again, he is an obedient servant of Mrs. Popov. He is kind and gentle. He suggests the best for Mrs. Popov, and he wants her to meet other men to move on from grieving. So, ganun siya ka-concern sa kanyang amo. Ganun yung kamahal yung amo niya. Akala ko nga sila yung magkakatuluyan pero hindi pala. Okay, next, the fourth character is Nikolai Mikhailovich. He is the dead husband of Mrs. Popov. Siya yung namatay na asawa ni Mrs. Popov. He likes riding a horse. He is not faithful and did not treat Mrs. Popov well. So, hindi siya naging tapat. Siguro mas minahal niya yung kabayo niya. Hindi, joke lang. Dito, bakit siya hindi naging tapat? Dahil, syempre, he cheated on Mrs. Popov. Sorry. Nais ko na to. Okay, again, he cheated on Mrs. Popov with many women. Sobrang daming naging babae ni Mr. Mikhailovich or ni Mr. Popov. So here is the scene. A well-furnished reception room in Mrs. Popov's home. Mrs. Popov is discovered in deep mourning. So siya daw ay natagpuan sa malalim na umaga. Pagdadalamhati. At siya ay nakaupo sa isang sopa, gazing steadfastly at a photograph. Yun, siya ay tulala, wala sa sarili. At nandun din si Luca para damayan siya sa kanyang nararamdaman. Here is the plot. So listen very carefully because you'll be needing the details here for you to be able to answer your seat work on page 277 to 278. Let's continue. So this is the story. For the introduction, Mrs. Popov is a widow grieving of her husband's death. She had been imprisoning herself for about 7 months after her husband died. She doesn't want to see any men and doesn't want to see ulit. Sorry. Unlimited pa ulit. So, esensya na kayo ha. Hindi ko expect na marami ako ditong hindi na edit. Okay, wait lang, nasa na yun? Ito. Dapat ko itong tanggalin. Okay. Take 2 again. And kulang ng tama lang, okay lang. And doesn't want to go out. So, di ba dito, siya ay gusto ayaw niya makakita ng kahit sinong lalaki. Kasi, ganun niya kamahal yung asawa niya. And she doesn't want to go out while Luca, her servant, tries to comfort her. And he wants Mrs. Popov to see other men and enjoy her life. So, ganun ko concern si Luca na gusto niyang makakilala naman ng ibang lalaki si Mrs. Popov para maka-move on na siya sa nangyari. Kasi biruin nyo 7 months siyang nagdadalamhati. It's not normal. Okay? So, but Mrs. Popov refuses. his offers because she wants to stay faithful to her husband. So, para kay Mrs. Popov, ang hindi niya pag-asawa or pag-iwas niya sa pagkakaroon ng ibang lalaki ay hindi pagiging tapat sa kanyang asawa. Ngunit, ayos lamang na mag-asawa o magkaroon ng makarelasyon na iba ang isang babae kung patay na ang kanyang asawa. Kasi nakasulat din yan sa Bible. Although she knows that her husband cheated on her and after his death, she found many letters in his desk. Kahit na nalaman niya na maraming naging babae yung asawa niya sa pamamagitan ng mga letters na nakita niya sa kanyang desk. So doon nagtapat yung asawa niya. So then a man who is called Smirnov comes to her house to insist Mrs. Popov. The man politely greets her, then asks for money that her husband had loaned and he needs the money. So biglang nakilala niya si Mr. Smirnov na dumating sa kanilang bahay. At dito, magalang naman siyang bumati at sinabing kailangan niya ng pera. Kailangan niya nang makuha yung pera na galing sa na inutang ng kanyang namatay na asawa. So dahil namatay na yung kanyang asawa, ay hindi na nito nabayaran yung kanyang utang. So ngayon, ang magiging responsible sa mga utang na to, syempre yung asawa niya na si Mrs. Popov. So, kasi this time, kailangan din ni Mr. Smirnov ng pera dahil umutang. So, umutang din nag-loan din si Mr. Smirnov So, si Mr. Smirnov, siya ay inutangan at siya rin naman ay umutang. At ang tanging paraan lamang ay makuha ang kabayaran sa utang ng namatay na asawa ni Mrs. Popov. So, kapag hindi daw nakabayad ng utang, sabi ng bangko, they will capture all of his lands. Lahat ng lupa niya ay aangkinin nila pag hindi siya nakabayad. But Mrs. Popov couldn't pay at that day. After 2 days pa daw siya makakabayad. So that made them, Mrs. Popov and Mr. Smirnov, to have a confrontation and then insulted each other. So, dahil pares silang mabilis magalit, ay na-insulto nila yung isa't isa. Okay? So, hindi na control yung galit nila. Excuse me. Okay, then they changed the conversation about their problem in faithfulness of man or woman. Then, yung topic na napunta sa pagiging tapat ng isang lalaki at isang babae. Sino ba yung mas tapat? Okay? Smirnov states that women are unfaithful and they attack and cry. Na pag sila nagalit, sugurin nila yung lalaki, then after that, iiyak na lang. Although he loved passionately and deeply, so pag nagmahal naman siya sinabi niya dito pero mahal niya pa rin daw yung mga babae, kahit na ganun, na ang katangian ng mga karamihan ng babae ay mabilis magalit at malimit or mas pro na umiyak kaysa sa lalaki. So sabi niya mahal pa rin nila. So sabi niya pag nagmahal siya, he loved passionately and deeply. And he spent money for them. So based on his experience, Mr. Smirnov has already spent money for women. Okay? So, hindi siya atubiling gumastos ng pera para sa babae. So, marahil isa sa reason ng pangungutang niya ay para may magastos siya para dun sa mga naging babae niya. Pero kung magmahal naman siya ay tunay. Okay? Let's continue. In return, Popov argued that men are unfaithful. So on the other side, against din naman si Mrs. Popov dun sa sinabi ni Mr. Smirnov. Sabi niya, she spent her used money and love for her husband after his death. Mula nung dalaga pa lang siya, kasi bata silang nag-asawa, yung pera niya, nilaan niya na para sa kanyang asawa. At sobrang niya itong minahalagang mamatay ito. At kitang-kita naman natin sa kanya. Mrs. Popov challenges him. So Smirnov says that they will have a duel. Maglalaban daw sila. So, ganun kainit yung ulo nila para magkahamunan. Na hindi na naisip ni Mrs. Popov na yung kababagay niya isang lalaki. Yung lalaki naman hindi niya naisip na babae yung kakalabanin niya na he should be gentleman. Mrs. Popov agrees and says that she is not afraid, but her servant Luca is afraid. Okay, so ganon sila katapang sa isa't isa. Smirnov takes this duel against Mrs. Popov as the way that both gender are made equal. So, ang reason ni Mr. Smirnov sa pagtanggap sa duelong ito ay para ipakita na ang babae at lalaki ay ginawa ng magkapantay na okay lang na maglaban sila. And he states that it is the first time in his life to see such a woman. To see such a woman. Again. So, doon namangha siya na makakita siya ng ganong klase ng babae. Next. So, yun ay bahagi ng nag-start na tayo dun sa climax. Mrs. Popov, for the next part, doesn't know how to use pistols. So, ito na nga yun. Yung nakita nating picture kanina. So, Mr. Smirnov teaches her, but now he doesn't want to have a duel. Okay, so balikan ulit natin yung picture. Kasi maganda siyang tingnan. Para mas ma-visualize ulit natin. Sorry, wait lang. Okay, so again, let's continue. So dahil nga hindi marunong gumamit ng pistol si si Mrs. Popov, Smirnov teaches her, but now he doesn't want to have a duel. After this, ayaw niya nang magkaroon ng duel. So just after that after that happened, in that short moment, ayaw niya nang makapagduelo because he falls for her and likes her. So yun, this is a romantic part of the play. At first, Mrs. Popov hesitates about that. Kasi parang di pa siya ready na makakilala ng ibang lalaki or magbigay ng kanyang heart para sa ibang lalaki. But, so yun nga, this is Mr. Smirnov and Mrs. Popov. But, soon she accepts him. The story ends with a proposal marriage because after all, the two will always need each other. So yun, mula sa pagiging magkaaway, so sila ay lovers na ngayon. So dun mas nakilala na yung isa't isa, may pagkakapareha sila sa maraming paraan, pareha silang matapang, pareha silang palaban, pareha silang yung kayang ipaglaban yung talagang pinaniniwalaan nila. Okay? So that's the end of the story. So sana naunawaan niyo yung ng malinaw yung story. So again, pasensya na sa mga typographical errors ko, pero yon, sa mga part na nalito kayo, so pakibalikan na lang kung kinakailangan. And after you watch this video at okay na kayo, you may now answer your seat work on page 277A. Then after that, followed by your homework on page 277B up to 278. So dito, if you have questions, just chat me. Or if meron kayong hindi maintindahang words, you can use the internet or Merriam-Webster in searching for the meaning of those words. So yun lang. Again, thank you for listening and watching. God bless you everyone. See you next time. Bye.